in. How do I have a like already? Who is that fast? Who moves that fast? Oh, wow. So listen, we got to get into this the assassination of Igor Kirillov today. We got to talk about it cuz I'm super interested in this story. This story is spooky for us as Americans because y'all, you know what I mean? That was Patricia, girl, you so fast. Um, it's spooky because we're gonna have to deal with the fallout of this. I don't think that a lot of people recognize how serious this can get, how fast it can get serious. There goes Bianca the Beautiful and Patricia walking. Y'all hit double tap that screen, double tap, double tap. Um, but we got to talk about it. And we got to talk about these so-called UFOs that are not UFOs at all. Y'all, listen, it goes so much deeper. It goes so much deeper. So I'm going to get into that and try to give you that information. I'm going to post some information about this in our Discord so y'all can get it. Hey, Phil B. Hi. And we got to talk about over in Aurora, Colorado, honey, there have been some arrests. Some of the Venezuelan gang members have been arrested in Aurora. Yes, they are putting them in jail because they're doing some wild crap. And I do mean wild crap. But first, let's deal with the assassination of Igor Kirillov in Russia by NATO, in my opinion. I mean, Ukraine is going to take the brunt of it. They should, because they were stupid enough to be used in, as you know, in a proxy war. However, I believe NATO is behind it. I believe the CIA helped. I personally don't think Ukrainians have enough anything to get this done on their own. I don't. But back to it. So Igor Kirillov, he's not just a top Russian general. Let's talk about who this man is and why they would have wanted him bumped off. Because why they wanted him bumped off is a real thing. So Igor was investigating the biolabs that were in Ukraine. Now, some of y'all who was watching FNN on my main channel, y'all remember I told y'all, I think it was like 25, maybe more, but I think initially we were told about 25 biolabs over in the Ukraine, right? Well, Igor, the one that they just popped, kaboomed, because I told y'all there was an e-bike, an electric bike they left outside of Igor Kirillov's apartment with TNT, a large amount of TNT strapped to this electric bike, an e-bike. And him and his assistant both went kaboom, okay? Y'all, some of y'all remember that from the Animaniacs, Katie Kaboom. The little lady Katie goes kaboom. So they come out of the apartment, kaboom. So we're talking about Igor. So Igor, the one that just got kaboomed, he was investigating the biolabs over in the Ukraine. Now, Victoria Nuland, with her crooked self, she admitted that they were there, but they tried to, lie. Oh, it was just for research, whatever. That's what I'm going to say. I don't believe you, Victoria, and you lying. So he was still investigating that. And their ties to the whole COVID pandemic, because there were ties. Okay, that's what Igor believed. I'm just gonna state what the man was investigating. All respect to the dead. I don't want to disrespect the dead. Okay, y'all double tap the screen, double tap. So listen. Anyway, not only was he investigating that, he criticized NATO on a regular basis about their actions. He criticized the pharmaceutical companies and talked about all the money they made off of COVID with the support of the Democratic Party. That was back in August of 2022. He said that they deliberately released the Carnival 19. This man had a lot to say. He was talking about he named, and everybody that he named were people that would absolutely still be in enough of a position of control at this point to have a hand in his demise. Okay. He named Hillary Clinton, George Soros, Obama. He named Biden, Klaus Schwab, the one that's the head of the World Economic Forum. I heard he stepped down, but I got to get the details on that. And he named the CIA. And next thing we know, Igor Kirillov goes kaboom. Igor goes kaboom. Now, mind you, Putin, and this happens right after Putin made a statement. He said that NATO had crossed their red line. So at this point, I'm like, okay, y'all are trying to force us into war before Trump can take office. And I think they're doing that because they know Trump is trying to broker peace between everybody. He wants to put a stop to it. Let's not send any more money. Let's just shut this thing down. And the powers that currently be seem to be invested in making sure that this war not only happens, but is something that cannot be quickly quelled or stopped. Like they're trying to push a very serious situation, and we're the ones that's going to have to deal with it. I seen the hearts go up. Thank y'all for the hearts. Okay. So just recently, what we're looking at is NATO has weapons trained at the border. They got people moving closer and closer to the Russian border. Like, leave these people alone because we do not want them shooting back at us. I think I speak for every normal American who will tell you we do not want any trouble on our soil. Okay. We want to go to the mall, want to go to the grocery store. We want to go to church in peace. We want to come home in peace. And we just don't want this. So I find it to be interesting the type of character that Igor Kirillov was, and that he was targeted. The fact that he was targeted specifically, I don't think it's a coincidence. I don't think it's a coincidence at all. I think that they had a very real fear that the coming administration might have actually sit down and listened to what Igor had to say. That's what I think. And I think they went ahead and bumped poor Igor off. So RIP to Igor and his family. You know, I don't know you, sir. You know. So nothing against anybody. I don't know them. But that's what happened. Okay. So now let's talk about these drones. Now, I didn't know what to make of the drones at first. I didn't. My first instinct when it came to the drones was, okay, I don't know what it is, but I know it's for real because everybody's seeing it. I knew it wasn't anything harmless because you're telling me they're the size of vehicles. They're the size of cars. They're over people's houses. People can see them every night. First, it was they're not there. Then it was, oh, well, we don't know what it is. Then they said that these were from Iran and they were coming from an Iranian mothership. All of those proved to be lies. The Pentagon is saying they don't know what it is. I don't believe them either. I believe that they absolutely know what it is. And there's some things about that. So, hold on, guys. Some things about that. So, there's some people, and I'm going to tell you, I am some people. I'm one of those some people who believe that this is absolutely a false flag attack. This is a false flag attack. Now, there's a gentleman by the name of John D'Souza. Now, he's an FBI whistleblower. Now, he ended up going live on one of my favorite shows, Redacted, with Clayton Morris. And this was a year ago. This was actually a year ago. And John D'Souza said that they were going to do this. He literally said there was going to be a false flag attack and it was going to be a fake alien invasion. Hey, Maishi. How are you? Thank you for being like number 13. Thank you for double tapping that screen. So he said there was going to be a fake alien invasion, and the only part that's fake is the aliens in it. He's like, it's going to be damage to areas. People may end up getting harmed. It may be a small amount of people who get harmed. These are not my words. These are his. I'm just telling y'all what the man said. You can always go to Redacted right here on YouTube. About a year ago, he was on their program, and you can hear what he had to say. However, back to the story at hand. So what he supposed over a year ago, around about a year, but a little more than a year, right? Is that they were going to they were going to use this to restrict movement. So that they would have a reason to say, well, it's not safe to be outside because of these entities that are hovering over our cities and that they're trying to harm people. So you need to restrict your movement, take away more civil liberties. I absolutely believe it. After everything with 9/11 and the fact that we've never been normal again after 9/11, we still got to take off shoes and you can't take a full tube of toothpaste on an airplane. None of that has anything to do with what happened on 9/11. And the more you look into that, you know that it's not what they said it was. There's no way in hell you have that much widespread damage and destruction, but the IDs of the terrorists are in perfect condition and just laying in the rubble. Nonsense. Complete nonsense. But in any event, so they're trying to evoke panic and they were, doing a good job. I wasn't comfortable with it because I knew it was something bad. I'm not sure if what I thought it was, but I knew it was something bad. So apparently, I think they said last night, NASA had a live feed. So they're really trying to feed into it. They're trying to whip up the panic and the frenzy. NASA had a live feed. I believe that was yesterday evening. And they cut their live feed from space because they said that, one of the things got in front of the camera or something, got in front of the satellite or whatever like that. Cut the crap. Y'all know exactly what it is. The Pentagon is lying, and I will go on record as saying that. Definitely gonna give Trump his credit because he was like, either tell the people the truth about what it is or start shooting them down, get them down. I do believe that they're going to do that. Mr. John D'Souza, the FBI whistleblower, said last year when he told us it was going to be a fake alien invasion, he said that there would probably be some interaction with military craft and that the military craft would be shot down. It's, to increase fear, like, oh, the military got shot down. So clearly, this is bad. Stay indoors. That type of thing. And he called it a long-term psyop. I don't doubt it. And I will say that if he is accurate and what he's saying actually does fit what we're seeing happen, I believe it's a direct result in the powers that be not being able to maintain the White House. I think this is a direct result to who they wanted to be elected, not being elected. Why else would this just kick up right now, right around Christmas time, like a little over 30 days before the next administration is supposed to come in? It's not a coincidence. It's real sick. Now, also, there was a 2022 4chan post. Now, I'm told that the 4chan post has been deleted by now. However, the internet never forgets and there's a copy of everything. So those of y'all who are in Discord, I will put the 4chan post in there so y'all can read it for yourselves. More or less, it basically gave information about the same thing that D'Souza talked about last year, but they talked about it in 2022 about the fake alien invasion as a false flag, and talking about, that they were going to start showing people with radiation burns and different things like that. And honestly, they've already started the radiation talk. They've already started talk about radiation, saying that the drones could be looking for radiation, trying to see if there's any traces of radiation, because apparently some radioactive material came into the port of Newark and the containers that it was in are now empty. So they're saying they cannot find it. And so they've already started the radiation talk. If we can't maintain power, then we're just going to cause chaos and pandemonium. Okay. So it's unfortunate, but yet here we are. Now, the next little piece of news I want to drop on y'all real quick before I run up out of here is, what time is it? Oh, okay. Is that the police in Aurora, Colorado have started arresting the Venezuelan hooligans that were allowed to just waltz through our southern border. And yes, they waltzed in, not vetted, criminals, gang members, inmates, cartel members, like the worst of the worst, just waltzed on in the door. Now, they arrested 14. It was either yesterday or today. I have to look back at the article. 14 were arrested, and this is after they took some people hostage. This man and this woman were out walking their dog or taking a walk 8 o'clock in the morning. They were accosted and attacked by these Venezuelan hooligans. I'm trying to find nice, neat, clean words to call them because I'm sure I could call them a whole lot worse. Attacked these people, took them to an apartment, tied them up, stabbed the husband. Stabbed him, and they were arrested. Now they're saying they do not know whether these people were a member of the Trendy de Aragua gang or whatever, but they're associated with the gangs that are taking over the apartment complexes in Aurora, Colorado. This is horrible. And all I can do is think back to that newscaster that said, "Well, no, Trump lied. They're not taking over the city. It's only a few apartment complexes." And I'm sitting there like, well, she said a handful. And I was sitting there like, "Girl, are you okay? You're worried about what that man said, whether it was the city or, as she said, a handful of apartment complexes. And what's so worrisome with that, a handful of apartment complexes is too many. One apartment complex is too many. The fact that it's a handful and those are American citizens that live there that are now unsafe, you should have a problem with that. Why is that okay with you? I'm starting to think these people are just mentally unwell. I really believe that. I believe they are mentally unwell. But at least there's been 14 arrests. Hopefully they can do something about it. I feel bad for the people that live over there, but if I'm being honest, I am very, very grateful that I do not. Okay? And I'm also grateful to be in the South, in a state where we can have firearms, because I would not know what to do if I was in a place where I could not. Okay? But with that being said, y'all, that's the news. I done told you what I know about it. I'm gonna pay attention to some other things, and then I'll be back when I can. We also will be live on my main channel because we got to go through some stuff. Alex Spiro did a press briefing about this case with this strange woman who said she was 13 and Puffy and Jay-Z attacked her. So we got to go through that. Y'all, that's all I got to say. We got to go through that. And then we got to cover, a few other people that may have said some things that were not true. Okay. So I will see you guys on our main channel in about 30, 35 minutes. Okay. Talk to y'all later. Bye.